Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2020 and part 41 of our career mode in my team with Jordan GP Mercedes. Today we've got the US Grand Prix in crisp 4K, 60 frames per second. That's why there wasn't an episode over the weekend, so I do apologise about that. But brand new PC, so I was setting that up and getting used to it, and hopefully it's all good now, ready and raring to go for what is going to be a very crucial race around Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas, of course. One of my favourite circuits on the calendar. But last time out, it was a bit of a disaster in Japan where we crashed out in qualifying and, well, we could only finish 6th in the Grand Prix. Luckily for us, Lewis Hamilton, 2 consecutive DNFs for him mean that he's almost out of the championship. We're now level on points with Lewis Hamilton, but Valtteri Bottas has come out of nowhere and won in Russia and 2nd in Japan with the fastest lap. But luckily, our teammate Sergio Perez has turned around his form. A 1st, 2nd and 1st in the last 3 Grand Prix is giving us a big boost, because if it was Bottas winning those last 3 races, then this championship could already be over. But 20 points, it's not unassailable. Still 4 races to go. A win today will certainly help us out. We're also still in the Constructors' Championship, only 67 points behind Mercedes. And, well, if we can get a couple of 1-2s in there, the maximum Mercedes can get from a 3rd and 4th is 27 points. So we could, in theory, make 17 points a Grand Prix on, well, at least on the Mercedes cars, which would give us 68 points come the end of the season. So we would win by a singular point if we were to get the 1-2 in the last 4 Grand Prix and get the fastest lap in each of those 4 Grand Prix. Now that is a bit far-fetched, but we have got the fastest car. It is possible, but it's going to be raining in qualifying and the race, so it could be anybody's guess as to what on earth is going to happen in this Grand Prix. So let's find out how we get on in qualifying. Well, we usually do thrive in these wet weather conditions in the Jordan. Not entirely sure whether we will in this particular session, but we can keep an eye certainly on how the other guys are doing. We are purple through the middle sector. Certainly has been a very nice lap so far, though. That's something I certainly can say about what's going on. And hopefully we'll be able to pull off a good lap here. Obviously, you always improve in wet conditions as the time goes on, as you get more and more confident and as more of the water is thrown up off the racing line. You can already see there's a drier line emerging. Obviously, it's not a dry line yet, but a dry line is emerging, and we come over the line. We go 2nd for the moment, only half a tenth off Valtteri Bottas, who is, of course, the championship leader at the moment. And he's going out hammer and tongs. Hamilton goes a lot quicker, though. He goes 6/10 quicker than both of us. So we'll see how much time we can make up on this 2nd lap. And maybe, oh, well, we've lost it a little bit there, but this time we don't bin it. And we'll just cool everything down and go back for another quick lap. Well, here we come up to the line, much better lap this time, 4/10 quicker, and that puts us 4th place at the moment. We've still got time for 1 more lap, so we're going to give it everything here to try and improve our time and make sure we get through to Q2. I don't think we should have any problems getting through, but times are improving, and you can see already that we're gaining a little bit of time on this lap, but once again we don't make it through clean there, but only a tenth of a second lost. if we can get past Schumacher here, our old foe, I think...
These conditions don't look like they're shifting. We're predicting at least 20 minutes of heavy rainfall.
I think we could have improved, but I mean, we'll stay out there just in case there's massive improvements. I mean, I think grip is improving. We just can't get past Mick Schumacher, so that is causing us big problems. But we might as well stay out here and see what comes of the laps. See if we get through. Just come round and finish off the lap. We can see how much quicker we are than Mick Schumacher. Surely he isn't going to improve his time, and he's down in 16th. So I don't think, as I say, I don't think we've got any trouble getting through to Q2. It's just going to be where are we going to finish, and I think we will drop down the order. Some people will find that time, find that extra grip, because you can see, look how much more grip there is through turn 14, and then coming up to the checkered flag. Look how much time we're making up on Mick Schumacher. Here we come, up to the line. What's it going to be? Where are we going to finish? I think 4th place, which is very good. We'll settle for that. Now then, any big shocks going out in Q1 then? Bottas down in 10th is an interesting one. Because remember, he was very, very close to us before, but Mick Schumacher does go out, so does Kimi Räikkönen, Kevin Magnussen, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi. Well, we've got the track to ourselves, so why not take the opportunity to take you on a lap of the Circuit of the Americas in these heavy rain conditions in 4K. 60 FPS with the Jordan GP Mercedes. Excellent apex on through turn 1 there, and then into this Silverstone style part of the circuit as we go through what would be Maggots and Beckett's and up into is it Club Corner? I can't remember now. Goodness me. But coming around here, keeping it very, very flat considering the conditions, which is good. So 1:11.8 is what Gasly produced in this middle sector, so we'll keep an eye on that time and what our time is in regards to him. I wish you could set it so that you could see all of the AI runners. I would absolutely love that. But here we come into the second sector split. What's it going to be? Well, it's only 0.3 quicker than Gasly, so it's not going to set the world on fire this lap, but it should be easily enough to get into the top 10 as long as we don't make any mistakes, and I think we can keep it virtually flat through this corner. It's an absolutely fabulous corner, this. Absolutely love it. And then you've got to get this braking point right. A lot of time to be won and lost there. And then into the final corner. Got to give yourself a good run, especially in wet conditions, to set up the next lap. And here we come over the line, and it's 5th fastest for the moment. But it's not too much quicker than Pierre Gasly in 13th place. So we've got to be careful here. Through there, 6/10 quicker, which put us 3rd place for the moment, 3/10 off Sergio Perez. I still think there's more time to find, particularly in Sector 1. So hopefully we can further improve that lap and make sure we get into the top 10 shootout. But it looks like it's going to be an exciting race for Paul. But once again, we've been it in that first sector. It's the 3rd time in this qualifying session that I've done just that. Pressure's getting to us, folks. Well, easily through to Q3 then. 3rd place, Perez leading the way. Going out in Q2 though, Albon, Vettel, Norris, Kvyat, Stroll and Romain Grosjean. Well, here we come then, round the final corner of what could be our pole position lap. We come up to the line, it's a 1:47.7, which only puts us 4th place for the moment. A purple final sector though, And now we go on to what will be our final lap of today's qualifying. We take first corner very, very wide. And there you go, we're just losing time as we come down the hill. It's going to be huge pressure. Can we do it though? Well then, this is going to be the final corner. Can we do it? We were purple in the middle sector, but we go wide at the final corner and we're only going to make a 10th up. And that's only going to be good enough for 4th place. Well, that was close in the end.
Qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Perez, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
And it's a big shame really, because I think we had another 3-4 tenths in there. Don't think we could have quite got pole position today, but we certainly could have been in second, and you know, not making our job incredibly difficult from the second row. But you know, I'll give it everything I've got, and hopefully we can come out on top in race day. Let's hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson, who'll take you through this 2021 United States Grand Prix.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turns 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down there today as the wet weather does interfere with the low-speed grip. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, the captain, Max Verstappen, and Ricciardo, Ocon, Leclerc, Sainz, and Alexander Albon, Vettel, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Stroll, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Kevin Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher. Russell, Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Well, here we are down on track then, and what an exciting Grand Prix we've got in store. It's damp at the start. Is it going to dry up? Are we going to have the chance to go on to soft tyres? It's going to be a huge question. And for those of you asking about the 50% races, I will be doing 50% races for the Brazilian and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to finish off the season and potentially the series for now. If we do indeed win that Constructors' Championship, we've got a great chance.
Another points finish this weekend. Let's give it everything.
I am the boss, Jeff. Shut up. Well, I guess Eddie Jordan is technically is just as much the boss. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting Grand Prix. Putting a little bit of extra fuel in to try and give ourselves the edge. But yeah, we need a good start today. Off the grid.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
And our big, target is beating Bottas. I think that's got to be the main goal going into turn one. If we're behind Hamilton, I'm not that bothered. We can recover from losing to Hamilton today, but what we can't recover from is losing to Bottas, really. We can't afford to be more than 20 points behind in the championship at this current stage. We need to have a really positive start and a positive Grand Prix today. After a couple of mistakes in the last Grand Prix, the strategy mistake in Russia, Obviously going out in Q2 in Russia as well. Then the crash in qualifying in Japan, which gave... Oh, well, we've just had a bit of an incident with Bottas on the formation lap, meaning that we're going to have to skip it now. And, well, it just means that we're not entirely ready for the Grand Prix, but here we go. We got to go for it. It's light out, and away we go. Wonderful getaway for Perez and Hamilton at the front of the grid, and Bottas is off to a good start as well. We can't say the same about us, though, and a little bit of contact with Bottas going into the first corner. And that was definitely our fault, and Leclerc's managed to go past. Have we got any damage? It doesn't look like it, so we got away with it, and Bottas tries to hang it round the outside, and we're just trying to get ourselves into the swing of it here. Albon and Leclerc have passed us. It looks like Hamilton has passed Perez as well, so that's a double disaster for us on the first lap. We needed Perez to hold the lead, but Hamilton is now in the lead of this Grand Prix, and Bottas down in 7th. That's what Hamilton will like to see, but we need to work our way back up, get past Albon, get past Leclerc, and hopefully get past our teammate Sergio Perez. We need to limit the damage here. Well, we go down the inside of Albon. That was a bulldozer-esque move there, and we are through.
We've held position on lap 1. That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
So back up to 4th. As Jeff says, it's not great, but it's not terrible. We can work with that. Hamilton leading the way in this Grand Prix. Leclerc currently in 3rd. Perez 2nd at the moment. We are 4th, but with a purple last sector. This is showing me that we've got the pace today. Let's go after them. It's hammer time. Well, we're right in the slipstream of Charles Leclerc. Are we going to risk it down the inside? I think we are. Need to make sure we make these moves thick and fast, and we are through. On Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque.
Good job. Nice overtake.
Lets us through, and now we got to push on Sergio Perez. No team orders here at Jordan GP, of course, and it's within our interests as a team that Perez actually tries and gets past Hamilton. So, I don't want him to slow down and let us through, but hopefully he won't be too aggressive when we do come to overtake him. So, here we come around the final corner. Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race. Here we come over the line, and we set the fastest lap of the race. A 1:46.7 for the moment. So let's keep pushing. Try and get up to 2nd. Well, you join me on lap 5 of this Grand Prix, and we're right behind Sergio Perez now. Just got to give ourselves a good exit now onto this long straight. We're right in his slipstream. Surely we're going to have a good chance here. Right in his slipstream. Come on. Come on. Well, we're going to throw it down the inside. I know it's our teammate Perez, but it's so important that we get past him. And we're going to hang it around the outside here. A little bit of contact. It's huge for the championship, but we are through. We are through on Sergio Perez, and because Bottas is so low down, I think it's very beneficial for the constructors, even though Perez may well finish in 3rd now because we've slowed him down. I don't think he's got the pace to get Hamilton, but I think we do. So let's push hard. We've got 9 laps left, obviously a wet Grand Prix, so we don't have to come into the pits. That means Hamilton doesn't have to come into the pits either. So it's going to be absolutely crucial to look after our tyres and get this move done as quick as possible. Well, we're within a second of Hamilton now. We don't have DRS, of course, because of the wet conditions. But still, 7 laps to go after this one. Half race distance, and this is going to be an exciting finale between the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and ourselves, a 2-time world champion.
Let's not stay behind this car for long. We need to get past.
Who you'd now think are the favourites for the championship, even though Bottas has a 20-point lead. He's down in 7th. He can't do anything about it. Somebody out of me or Lewis, I guess Bottas is still in it. You know, if he has good races towards the end of the season, he's still got the points advantage. But, well, particularly if we get the fastest lap and win the Grand Prix, we will be level on points with Valtteri Bottas going into the final 3 rounds. This is crucial. If we are to do it, can we get past Lewis? Well, much closer this lap. We're almost at Lewis Hamilton's gearbox. 4.5 tenths of a second. We've got rich mix. We've got overtake button on. We're definitely going to close up here. Move it down to standard, just so we don't have too much overspeed going into this corner. But look at this. We are right behind Lewis Hamilton. This is going to be super exciting for the end of this Grand Prix. The cars come alive today, and we've certainly had good form. Apart from that very first corner, we've been on it. Well, even closer this time. We actually touched his gearbox. Look at this, 2.5 tenths. We're right in the slipstream now. With rich mix, with overtake button. This could be the chance that we have to take on Lewis Hamilton, but just a little bit too far back. Are we going to get a better chance than that? Thought I'd chance my arm. 5 laps to go. Surely we're going to get a better chance than that. We just touched his gearbox on the entry to the corner, and I think that's what just did it in for us. But hopefully,
there's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Hopefully we can get a better exit next lap, or at least in one of the next 5 laps, and we can win this Grand Prix, or at least take the lead. Who knows what Lewis has got left in the tank. Well, speaking of good exits, here's the slipstream. This could be a chance going into turn 1. Big lock-up, and Hamilton manages to hold the lead, but that was almost the moment. We've managed to hold it though, so we should be okay. But wow, that was very, very close to being the moment where we take the lead and possibly win this Grand Prix. But, well, don't think we're quite as close this time. Need to give ourselves a good exit. There you go, take a tighter line, better acceleration. This is surely going to be the chance. And look at this, the slipstream we're getting. We're moving to the inside now. We've got overtake button on. Shut up, Jeff. Well, we go down the inside of Lewis Hamilton and we're into the lead of the US Grand Prix. What a move that was.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target.
And what a race this has been as well. And now we need to push hard. We haven't got Lewis as a sighter of where to brake, where the grip is. We've just got to be the first that experiences it, and it's a totally different experience in wet weather. But if we can get out of that 1 second window where Lewis Hamilton can hang on to our coattails, I think we've got this in the bag. A little bit of a moment out of the final corner, but we're alright, and we lead going into the final 4 laps of this Grand Prix. How exciting is this?
You are in in first position, front of the pack. Hamilton is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is...
Well, there you go, fastest lap by
That's a new
0.4
fastest
of a
lap of the
second.
race.
And what a Grand Prix we are now running. We've pulled away to nearly 4 seconds ahead of Hamilton. And, well, 2 laps to go. We've got fastest lap in the bag. It looks like 26 points in the bag. And with Bottas only finishing in 7th as it stands, we're going to be leading the championship on countback, which is quite unbelievable, really. Look at this, we're going quicker again.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
What could be the fastest lap as well. We come up to the line, we've won the USA Grand Prix, and we do get the fastest lap as well. What a fantastic race, come on!
There's a few disappointed faces up and down the pit wall after that one, but not here. They secured a phenomenal victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Well, what a Grand Prix. There we are on the podium. Of course, Lewis Hamilton there as well. He's right back in the championship. Wow, what a Grand Prix, and what
So let's review the updated driver's
a wonderful season. And we do take the lead.
Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
It's an interesting one today. On balance, I think I have to call out Alexander Albon. A really solid drive from him today, and one that he and his team should be proud of.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, what an amazing Grand Prix. We complete race victory around Austin with the fastest lap as well on 1:46.4. You can see that Lewis Hamilton was in second. It was actually a 1:45.4. That is crazy how much quicker we were than the rest of the field. I guess it makes sense, you know, we set up the car for the dry, and maybe a lot of people went for a wet weather setup for qualifying, so when we were in between, you know, and it was getting drier all the time and our confidence was increasing, so we just managed to do it in the end. And Lewis Hamilton finishes second there. He'll be very disappointed to not win the race, but he'll be delighted to be back in the championship. Perez will be disappointed with third though, 9 seconds off the lead. Charles Leclerc finishes an excellent fourth for Ferrari, with Albon in fifth as well. Ocon finishes sixth to hold off Valtteri Bottas at the end there in seventh. Max Verstappen finishes eighth ahead of his old mucker Daniel Ricciardo in ninth, and Lance Stroll finishes in 10th. So all that means for the standings that we are leading the way on countback over Valtteri Bottas in second, 8 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton in third. Leclerc is fourth in the championship, 57 points behind. Perez fifth, 58. Can Perez finish fourth in the championship? I think he can by the end of the season. We're 50 points behind in the Constructors' Championship. That is still very much possible. to overthrow, but we are going to need some very positive results in the next 3 Grand Prix. But if you have enjoyed that, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. It really does help out, means a lot to me as well. Subscribe to the channel for weekly Formula 1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.